The Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences has today decided to award the Sveriges Riksbank Prize in Economic Sciences in memory of Alfred Nobel to Angus Deaton for his analysis of consumption, poverty, and welfare.
Looking back on it, it seems like a sort of golden fairy tale adventure in which it's really hard to believe it was real. Sort of even from the first phone call, when they said, they said what they were giving it to me for, and I'd always sort of thought that I had relatively low chance of getting it because they like to say they're giving it for one big, deep thing. They sort of saw a theme in this in terms of, it all being about welfare and measurement. There is a theme of that sort, and that theme has been there for a very long time.
I myself first met Angus shortly after I joined the Woodrow Wilson School faculty and was immediately impressed with his leadership in the school and his willingness to tackle important questions. I am thrilled that this year's Nobel Prize was awarded to someone who is both a great economist and a great Princetonian.
I believe that Angus Deaton's work, and Angus Deaton is motivated by public policy in everything that he does, whether it's looking at consumption, income inequality, poverty, that he is motivated to better understand the world to make it a better place.
He brings this curiosity to the question and has never lost that. His sense of wonder about the world is, I would say, second to none.
He's one of the few economists I really want to emulate because he's what I would call a true intellectual. He reads voluminously. He reads everything he can get his hands on. So he always has a broad view of the problem he's working on.
I think Angus is one of the people that best embodies a traditional notion that both data and theory are very important.
Angus's style of research I think of as incredibly liberating to me as a young assistant professor when I came to Princeton. Both Angus and Anne just made me feel like I didn't have to work on one idea, which I think is very much Angus's work. And I think that's sort of indicative of the way the Nobel Prize sort of gave Angus an award for being Angus.
Angus approaches problems in a very distinctive way, and I guess I would say he almost approaches them like a detective. He comes up with a very interesting, important question. He wants to find out the answer to it. He doesn't have any preconceived notions about what that answer might be, and he's as likely to find something that is unexpected as something that's expected.
Dear Professor Deaton, you are an optimist, a skeptic, and a humanist. And above all, you are an empiricist, always determined to confront what we believe with what we can know, just like Alfred Nobel. It is an honor and a privilege for me to convey to you, on behalf of the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences, our warmest congratulations. May I now please ask you to step forward and receive your prize from His Majesty the King.
One of my greatest pleasures in recent years has been seeing the subject matter of economics broaden and expand. It has not given up its core themes, its measurement, or its mathematics, but it has re-embraced its origins in history, in psychology, in political science, in sociology, and in philosophy. It has become a richer and more humane subject.
What probably makes him exceptional, and I think maybe the Nobel Committee appreciated, is that he doesn't leave it at perfecting or improving the economic theory. He tries to take that to some data and use it to explore the details of what he's discovered.
Angus came to Princeton in 1983. And starting with that class of 1983, he has left an indelible print on a generation of students who have come through Princeton. He's a terrific lecturer. He's crystal clear, and he's really excited about the work. and he makes other people excited about the work.
Angus was one of my first teachers at Princeton, so I actually still remember having him walk into the classroom, and I don't know exactly what I expected, maybe some little wiry Scotsman, and this great huge bear of a man walked in. He was taller than the blackboard. I was really impressed, and then of course when he started to talk, I was even more impressed. He gave an absolutely beautiful course on econometrics. He was one of my advisors for my dissertation. I've known Angus for a long time. One characteristic that stands out, he's very funny, he's very knowledgeable about many subjects. If you had to pick one person to have dinner with and be certain that you would not be bored, he would be a very good person to pick.
Angus the man. Well, how would I describe Angus? Probably best not to talk to him after a game in which the Yankees lost in a close situation.
Angus is completely human. I mean, he doesn't hide much, so he lets it all hang out. And so that makes him a good friend and just a good person to be around, because for a person of his accomplishment to be as natural as he is, to me is a gift to me, if not to him.
I should tell you that I came to Princeton University because of Angus Deaton. I was a labor economist looking to turn into a development economist, and he was an econometrician who hadn't been at Princeton long, who wanted to become a development economist. And Angus's offer to me was, come to Princeton, I'm putting together a group, and we can do this, become development economists together. And the span of my collaboration with Angus lasted literally decades. And over that period, we wrote many papers together, some of the papers that I think are the most fun papers I ever worked on. And so he was a colleague, and he has been a teacher, and he's been just a tremendous friend.
One of the great things about Angus Deaton is that he is a great colleague, he's a great mentor, he's a good friend. He's just an overall wonderful person, so we couldn't be more thrilled that the world has finally recognized, or at least the Nobel Prize Committee has finally recognized, not only his contributions to economics, but that this is really a wonderful scholar who's contributed to all of our intellectual thinking and to all of us as a community.